Baba has given us the vision of the world of peace, world of love, harmony, happiness, abundance. So I keep that vision of the new world and emerge the awareness that I began journey. We all began journey, and our original self is from journey of the beginning. When I was completely pure, peaceful, and divine. And in our deity forms, we all lived together all the time, peaceful, share divine love, joyful interaction, and shared everything with each other. No one needed to purchase anything, but everything was shared. Feelings of belonging, one unlimited family, so at conference age, we are creating that vision, thoughts, and vibrations, and also the sanskars of complete purity. When there is purity, there is no sorrow, no disturbance, peacelessness, and everything is in abundance, belonging to one family, kindness, forgiveness, compassion, sharing that with everyone, paying a lot of attention not to take sorrow, nor give any sorrow to anyone. We all should have joy, feelings of contentment. All these sanskars are present I carry with me to play my part in golden age, in the new world. So hold to that vision for the world. Have the thought that old has to change into new. Old is destroyed and new is being created. Now we take drishti from Baba.
वारे मेरा बाबा वाह, आप कहते हो तू मेरा बच्चा, मैं कहती हूँ अब मेरा बाबा। बाबा के तू मेरा बच्चा अच्छा बच्चा है, मेरा बच्चा है तो ऐसा हो। मैं कहूँ मेरा बाबा हो तो कैसा दिख। तो ये जो मेरा बाबा कैसा है, बाबा कहे मेरा बच्चा ऐसा है, तो कहेंगे ये है जीवन मुक्ति का वर्षा। कभी भी किसी प्रकार से शक्ल छोटी न हो जावे, कभी लाल हो जाएंगी, कभी पीली हो जाएंगी, असंतोष हुई तो लाल हो जाएंगी, अपमान की थोड़ा वो हो गया तो पीली हो जाएंगी। इसका नाम प्राच काम कुछ भी नहीं करते, नाम इसका ही आता है। मेरा कभी नाम नहीं आता है, लगा गुस्सा। अरे नाम से काम नहीं है, तुम काम करो तो नाम भगवान के मुख पर तेरा आएगा। काम ऐसा करो जो भगवान के मुख पर तेरा नाम आए। पर जब तक यहाँ नाम रूप में थोड़ा है ना, तो वो नाम कमाने के लिए जो काम करता है ना, वो भगवान के मुख का संतान नहीं है। भगवान के मुख का संतान वो है जिसके मुख में भगवान का नाम है, मुख में भगवान का नाम है, तो भगवान के मुख में उसका नाम है। तो कल किसको थोड़ी स्टोरी सुना रही थी, बाबा को किसका नाम भी याद नहीं आता था। बच्ची आओ, बच्चा आओ, बस उसमें इतनी कशिश। अभी भी अब बाबा थोड़ी नाम से थोड़ी बुलाता है। तो आज के संदेश में मुझे सारा दिन मन में ज्वालामुखी रूप हो। किसने आज के संदेश पर मनन चिंतन किया? हाथ उठाओ, सच्चा सच्चा हाथ उठाओ। ज्वालामुखी, जो कोई भी हमारी अंदर किचड़ा पटी भस्म हो जाए और अच्छाई चमक आ जाए, ऐसी पावरफुल याद, योग तपस्या, उसको कथा का ज्वालामुखी में याद, कुछ याद नहीं आए, योग एक बाबा से, तपस्या तो बस।
Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today is day 7. Diamond Dadi. Truly honesty. Om Shanti. Now we'll be listening to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. It's so much intoxication listening to Dadi, even for a few minutes. We are looking at beautiful facets of Diamond Dadi, flawless diamond. She maintained total honesty within herself, for herself, and with others. And honesty helped her to look within the self or be detached observer of the self and not allow any hurt, grief, pain to remain in her attitude. Attitude is actually a kind of accumulation of the past feelings. One is, of course, sanskar, but attitude also. And if there is any pain, hurt, or grief in attitude, it affects the power to discern because strongly dictated with the attitude, intellect just is not able to decide in the right way. And then the hurt, the harm of that, one is hurt, but then how that hurt, if I am holding, not able to decide based on the purity, honesty, then deeply within the anger, resentment, stubbornness, and all that is big damage to the intellect. I had been reflecting since morning and then also looking at the pattern of how people decide in their life, still based on that hurt. Very simple example that you invited me or I have come to whether your place, center or somewhere, and you didn't come to receive me or welcome me as I expected. So internally I felt bad. So I said, I'm not going to go now. I won't come now. Internally, I'm just saying it. Now there is a time where I should visit, but I am holding that hurt. And I say, no, I won't do that. So the opportunity I have to serve or maybe reconciliation or the need, I'm missing that opportunity because I'm holding that hurt and I'm stubborn that you did it. And not knowing that there must be some reason, but honest, if there is honesty, I will not blame you. And then, of course, this morning's Murli was so revealing. I just feel that Baba is traveling with us or we are traveling with him. That every Murli is almost same, the subject, what we all discuss about today. We are talking of honesty. Baba is talking about purity. that purity is the mother of peace and happiness. And if you uh, feel sorrow, disturb, upset, react, it's impurity within you. And that is what actually exactly we are looking at Dadi, that her aim was to become complete pure. And her purity, which is in connection with honesty with the self, that she was beyond praise, deformation. I have seen her in many, many situations where she is being criticized openly for the way she speaks, a role in London, many things, right? Because when she returned from London after 4 years, so there were a lot, it took a lot of time to understand at that time that what words should be used. And, because she stayed abroad a long time. And I sitting here and she's being told, and I don't think she ever, not only she didn't feel bad, secondly, she never put that in her attitude or in, she didn't take it as humiliation. There was no humiliation for her. And she never mentioned about why this happened. They shouldn't have said this, never. And I am amazed, I am surprised sometimes. And there was nothing like humiliation for her. She always stayed in her self respect. She always stayed in love for Baba. And same souls who are saying such things, within few moments she will go talk to them, she's laughing, and we are sitting there and observing and not feeling, oh, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't say all this. So when there is purity, then in the quality of honesty, you don't keep any hurt, any pain, any grief. As I said, that I myself seeing even at present, certain situations are only because that soul is holding past, holding something and being hurt. So whether it is criticism or even it comes to praise, when praise, you could and you have to listen to your praise also, but you're not accepting as your praise. You are thanking Baba, appreciating Baba, saying to Baba, you made me so special that I am able to serve with this speciality which is being praised. She will not accept any praise. I learned a lot about this because when someone says good things about me, then I just underline, oh, that's what I have to be. And oh, Baba made me so good. It's Baba who gave me this speciality. And from your heart to thank Baba. So Dadi, as Diamond Dadi, her purity in the form of honesty as one of the facets, where not, I think there was any corner, whether in her heart or in attitude, which had place for sorrow or hurt. Now one is healing afterwards, and one is not taking that sorrow, not allowing yourself to be hurt or feeling bad about something. Some of us, some of you must be thinking, is it possible not to feel bad, not to be hurt, not to feel not being respected, or not to feel feelings of belonging? Or these days, everyone inclusiveness. With Dadi, laughingly, jokingly, she will just enter every meeting. Many times we were in the meeting, she will appear and she said, "Oh, I want to listen what you all are planning." She doesn't think, "Oh, I was not invited, why I should go. Nobody told me, why should I go?" It's very interesting. Many, many times we are sitting in a small group, either having meeting or having spiritual chit chat. She will just come. uh, Oh, Dadi, Dadi, Dadi is here. Let us sit. We feel happy. Mm. Oh, I also want to hear. I also want to be part of it. Mm. So will we say, Dadi, no, you can't. You have to leave. We felt honored and happy. Mm. So these are very little things, but I have learned a lot because we all are some or other in the beginning very sensitive about being invited, being respected, being loved. And we have this whole big subject of inclusiveness. But what about you? If I can be part, no, I can make that feeling. I can create that situation where I am part of everything. So when there is this honesty and also very, very deep, loveful family feelings in me, I think you all must have done some reflections on this. And after morning Murli, it became so clear that there must have been more and more reflection on what Baba describes as complete purity, where there is no sorrow, there is no peacelessness. Mind doesn't get disturbed at all. And I have to look at that, no, because I have to become complete pure. That means free from sorrow, any pain or disturbance, not even get uh, quickly disturbed about anything. Go beyond respect and humiliation, praise and deformation, criticism. It's all right. No? This is what other ones feel. How I see it as criticism. I know that it's quite a stage, but we need to, as she said, a yogi tapasvi, right? So it's very, very um, lovely, but I think it needs a lot of attention so that our state doesn't fluctuate. I remain stable, not only stable, but keep moving forward. It's only after being stable now that I can be ascending or moving forward. But if I keep fluctuating, then you're not going anywhere, right? You went 2 feet forward, came back 2 feet. So how will you move forward? And one of the facet which we will be reflecting for tomorrow is Dadi's love and very popular saying, and that is saying Om Shanti 3 times. And generally, we always said Om Shanti 1 time, but Dadi will say it in the family, in the public. I want to say Om Shanti 3 times. And she will say to everyone, you all also say Om Shanti 3 times. And she will explain. awareness of the self, Swaki Smriti, awareness of who am I am immortal soul, I belong to Baba, who am I? Well, that is first slogan, and that is first Om Shanti. And when she says, who am I, could be of, uh, I think, all the five forms. I as in my eternal self, I as my original self, my worship worthy self, I as a Brahmin, and I also as an angel. So Om Shanti, who am I, is not only I'm a point of light, right? But what is within that point of light? And that makes five forms. And second Om Shanti is whom I belong to. As you all know, in Hindi, she in class, as soon as she came, मैं कौन मेरा कौन, whom I belong to is Baba. So her remembrance or saying Om Shanti second time was reminding us of that I belong to God and God belongs to me. She just said, मैं Baba का Baba मेरा. I will say, look at my Baba, and Baba will say, look at my child. And whatever you do is not for your name and fame. If you want your name to be on God's lips, God's heart, then you have to be honest. You don't have to uh, kind of do anything to please God. I do it honestly. So it's a very beautiful way of saying Om Shanti second time. Then Baba said Om Shanti third time, and Dadi said, and that is think of home. Thinking of home is like deeply within. I know my destination. From where did I come and where I have to return? Especially at confluence age, is the time to return. It's a return journey. I came from Paramdham. I have to return to Paramdham. For me, when I heard this, it was so beautiful. And even now, where will I go? To my sweet home. There is complete silence there, complete total realm of light, light everywhere. So taking myself to my sweet home takes me into deep experience of silence. So actually for all of us also, tomorrow when I say Om Shanti three times, first is awareness of one's true self. Who am I? And five forms of the soul, my part. Om Shanti as whom I belong to. He belongs to me. I belong to him. I like that song, Main Baba Ka Baba Mera. And third Om Shanti is thinking of my return journey. I want to go and before going, settle all my karmic accounts. With stage of complete purity, I will return home. I don't have to pass the court of Supreme Judge. Settle everything here, completely free. And if I am free from hurt, pain, sorrow, disturbance, I am free. That means there is complete purity, right? Such a definition of complete purity. My reactions, my response, feeling bad, fluctuations, all that is impurity. I have to clean, I have to make it clean. Instead of blaming a person or a situation, I look at the cause, why I felt this way, why I felt this way. Even if other one is saying, so return home means clearing all that, clean, clear, so that I could discern and decide in the right direction, take right choices, become pure and charitable, always maintaining good wishes. So before I return, I have to be complete. So it's very, very deep. So tomorrow we practice 3 times Om Shanti in mind, in words, and say it through Vardeshti and with lot of love. It's a beautiful, beautiful facet of Diamond Dadi. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So now it's our time for Malanchintan, the art of journeying. I'd like to invite Sister Shireen.
Om Shanti, everyone. Good evening. Didi shared some wonderful jewels today. There were two facets to her beautiful Diamond Dadi sharing today. One was the homework for today, which was about being a detached observer. But I thought it was about being a detached observer, but I loved what she was talking about discernment and decision, that the clarity that we need to be able to go beyond hurt and grief really is all dependent on discernment and decision making. And then, of course, about Om Shanti, which could be our drill for tomorrow. But first, I want to share a few things from today. Um, Didi was talking about the pattern, that we have an old pattern of discernment. And what is it? We have to have a new pattern of discernment and how they differ. This old pattern of thinking and discerning, old pattern of how our intellect works, and the new pattern of the transformation that we need to have for intellect to work in a new pattern of discernment, and the result from the new pattern of discernment. So, in the old pattern of discernment, she mentioned 4 points that I really liked. One was that we lose our opportunity to serve because of misunderstandings, because we operate from a place of hurt. And she was giving this example of, we are invited somewhere and someone doesn't come to receive us, and then we are hurt, and then we say, oh, we are not going to go back there. So we really lose our opportunity for service because of that, because we are holding past hurt. And that is an old pattern of being, an old pattern of discernment. So the choices we are making is based on our hurt. Um, and then the second one, an old pattern of being, is that we hold grief and pain in our attitude. And when we hold pain and grief in our attitude, then discernment also gets affected because of that. And the third one that she mentioned was, it's not just about holding grief and pain, but there is harm because of this. And that harm is because there is harm in me holding that grief and pain, then I'm not able to decide based on honesty. And I found it very interesting that because how my feelings of hurt lead to my lack of discernment based on honesty. And the fourth one is this anger and resentment and stubbornness, how they damage our discernment. So to be able to really step beyond that. And so how do we transform? How do we transform this old pattern of being to a new pattern, a transformative pattern of being? And the first one she was mentioning was from today's Murli, how Baba was, of course, talking about purity. And and purity, I thought it was interesting, is not just purity, but also that there is no sorrow, there is no peacelessness, there is no disturbance. And that way of being, where there is no sorrow, no peacelessness, no disturbance, that pure way of being really is the transformation that is needed for a new way of discerning, to see things clearly. And the second one is that Diamond Dadi always had this aim of becoming pure and perfect. And that should be our aim. And so just the aim will help us see things clearly. And the third one is, she elaborated a lot on this, is to go beyond praise and defamation. And Didi was saying, yes, it is a very high destination, but we have an example in front of us. Diamond Dadi did it, and the Didis did it, the Dadis did it, and we can do it. So to really go beyond praise and defamation. And the fourth one is that Dadi really was beyond humiliation. She never felt humiliated. She would never say why this happened or why this one criticized or why this happened, but always stayed in her self-respect. And so that is another transformation that is needed for a new way of discerning things. And the fifth one is that in no corner of Dadi's heart was there a place for sorrow. And that I thought was very interesting, because she was saying that was real honesty, is because there is no sorrow in any corner of her heart, that there was absolute honesty with Dadi. And the sixth one and the final one of the transformation of old patterns of thinking is not to be sensitive about not being invited, not being loved, not feeling belonged. And that just like Dadi never waited for an invitation, she just used to, show up and have chit chats when other people were having chit chats, says don't wait, and that we should take the initiative and create that sense of belonging, create that sense of love, that create that sense. That is the initiative we have to take, not invite ourselves to places that we are not invited, but to really take the initiative and give that sense of belonging to people, with everyone. And so the final result of all of this I loved is that we make the right choices, we become charitable, and we can always maintain good wishes and pure feelings for everyone. And finally, the drill for tomorrow, the three Om Shantis. The first Om Shanti is who am I in the five forms. The second one is of belonging to Baba, and the third one is of going back home and feeling and seeing ourselves in our home. Om Shanti. So tomorrow's churning point, say Om Shanti 3 times. First, remember the self. Second, remember Baba. And third, remember our home. Dadi is giving us all a bouquet of flowers for being with her for this whole month. Om Shanti.
Yeah, lovely to hear, Sister Shane. It's when more we think of Dadi, it's like real example that once she's being criticized about whatever she's saying in lectures shouldn't be like that. And after 5 minutes, she had to speak. So she didn't say no. She just went and started speaking. I said, if someone else would have told me that, look, when you speak, it's like this, and give someone else to speak. I'm not going to speak. And I will really resist not to speak. But Dadi just went on the stage and started talking. So I thought she's so untouched. She's so strong that listening after criticism, she still said, okay, I will do it right now or whatever. And I don't think even whatever was told, she took it in a way that she doesn't have to do this way. She still went inside in silence. She took the opportunity, she just spoke. So she never gave up her platform also when I says that when she has to speak, she has to speak. She it's not that she was eager, but of course, she was Dadi, so she was asked to always, give blessing or give talk. But as I said, that 10 minutes before they are saying in the meeting, Dadi, you shouldn't be saying this. You had been saying this lot, and didn't matter. Sometimes when I think that way, I said I would have just gone in the room. I'm not going to speak anymore because I heard so many comments. So after criticism, comments, or whatever different, she stayed like not only didn't affect her, but she still know that what I'm going to say from my heart, my whatever I feel like I'm going to say, and she says it. And that's why she became what she, was until end, because she was never, otherwise we get subtly influenced by how people want us to be, right? So many opinion about how you should be, you shouldn't be doing this. So Dadi will listen, yes, and then she will be what she has to be in a very natural way. And I really learned from that. And in the beginning, I thought it's quite amazing and it's hard, but just keeping Dadi in front as if nothing happened, nobody said anything. I have to play my part, just keep playing it. And it's amazing. So she became whatever was her churning, her Manan Chintan. She was image of that, a reality also. So it's really, really, as much we think of Dadi, more and more beautiful qualities of her from her practical life emerges and inspires us to be like Dadi. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to a Vikti Journey. So today's meeting through the eyes, the language of angels.
पहले मैं बताती हूँ 3 बारी मैं ओम शांति करती हूँ ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति पहला ओम शांति मैं कौन, दूसरा ओम शांति मेरा कौन, तीसरा ओम शांति मुझे क्या करना है।
Om Shanti. So it was very beautiful. So the way that they used to give drishti to everyone, and also her three Om Shanti many, many times. She has said that in the class, and we can hear that voice even now, right? Her voice is always everywhere. Like just think about it, and it's there. Of course, we'll be practicing tomorrow, and today is our special day for sharing the drishti, right? So we'll have few seconds, and let's keep that awareness and share drishti with the whole family and with the whole world, as our beloved Dadiji did. But before that, we have to get our toli and blessing. So let's get our toli and blessing.
Om Shanti. Dadi's container of Toli today has Toli, which is called jamun. Like gulab jamun. Gulab jamun is in the syrup, and this is called jamun only. It's dry jamun, no syrup in it. It is flour and it is milk powder and then fried coconut on the top, and there is some syrup, so it becomes sweet. It's very simple way to make it. It's called jamun. So everyone have this toli, quite big, so you have to take it in hand. Okay. There was a saying, toli makes you holy. Yeah, of course it is. No, sweetens the mouth, sweetens the soul, our feeling, sweet and loveful feelings. When we look at toli, share toli with each other, And slogan truly makes you holy. Om Shanti. Good night. So we have to say Om Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. You also will say Om Shanti in the end 3 times. Om Shanti, good night.